Today I'm making a bread that fed common people, strengthened soldiers, nourished philosophers, and fueled Olympic athletes. Let's see if Maza really is the bread of legends.
He's going deep into the cookbooks of history to recreate the recipes long forgotten. He is the time-traveling chef.
So I searched far and wide. I went to 6-7 different grocery stores looking for what I thought was a simple ingredient: barley flour. Couldn't find it, and I don't know, I just didn't order it online. So instead, I found barley pearls, and you can make barley flour out of this, but we have to do just a few little steps here. So let's start off with that. Just putting some barley into this strainer, and I'm gonna just rinse it off to get any dust, dirt, anything that I don't want on there. I'm not trying to saturate it, I just want to clean it. And now, the easy but slightly long part is we gotta dry off this barley. Very, very dry. We have to make sure all the moisture is gone. So I'm going to put the barley out onto this tray and just kind of spread it out. I'm gonna dry this out at about 250 degrees for about 15 minutes, but we don't wanna actually cook this or toast this, we're just drying it. Imagine a meal that captures the essence of a civilization, reflecting its history, values, and way of life. Today, we're diving into the ancient Greek dish, Maza, a staple that nourished warriors, athletes, and philosophers alike. As Archelaus, a Greek warrior poet from the 600s BC, put it, "My Maza comes to me from my spear comes my Ismarian wine, and I drink while leaning on my spear." Well, whatever that means, let's uncover how this humble dish played a starring role in ancient Greek life. Barley is one of humanity's oldest crops, central to ancient civilizations like Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Greece. The Greeks even named their goddess of the harvest, Demeter, the barley mother. But how did they use it? While Egypt and Mesopotamia brewed beer and baked bread with barley, Greeks had a different take. They found barley bread dense and chewy, so instead, they created maza, a dish somewhere between porridge and bread. Our understanding of maza comes from various ancient Greek texts. In Hesiod's Work and Days from around 700 BC, barley bread is highlighted as a staple in the daily diet. He offers practical advice on agriculture, underscoring barley's role in sustenance. While Aristophanes, the playwright of the 5th century BC, humorously mentions maza in his comedies like The Wasps and Peace, reflecting its omnipresence in Athenian society. Even in Plato's Republic, maza is included in the ideal diet for citizens, promoting health and moderation over indulgence. Maza starts as alfida, barley flour toasted over a fire until it turns a rich brown with a nutty aroma. This flour is then mixed with hot water and sometimes a little oil, often a pinch of salt. No baking is needed since the flour is already cooked. The dough is shaped into balls or pancakes, sometimes added to broths, creating a sort of ancient matzo ball soup. Simple and versatile, maza required minimal effort and resources, making it a favorite across all social classes in Greece. Maza transcended social boundaries. For farmers and laborers, it was an affordable, nourishing staple. Soldiers carried barley flour with them, mixing it into maza on the go during campaigns, a detail chronicled in Xenophon's Anabasis. Even the aristocracy and philosophers found value in maza. Diogenes, the Cynic, saw it as a symbol of simplicity and self-sufficiency. Maza wasn't just for daily sustenance. It fueled the Greek soldiers and athletes. In Xenophon's detailed accounts of military campaigns, maza was crucial for its long shelf life and ease of preparation, providing essential nutrients during strenuous journeys. Athletes too found maza essential. Galen, a 2nd century physician, wrote about athletes consuming barley bread for strength and endurance, making maza an early form of power food vital for peak performance in events like the ancient Olympic Games. Maza also held cultural and religious significance. In rituals dedicated to Demeter, barley and maza were offered to honor the goddess and seek her blessings for fertile lands. The Eleusinian Mysteries, sacred annual rites, incorporated barley into their ceremonies, highlighting its spiritual importance. Barley bread was used in various festivals and communal gatherings, reinforcing social bonds and shared cultural identity. In Greek dining, food was divided into sitos and opsin. Sitos was the grain base, whether bread, porridge, or maza, that formed the meal's foundation. Opsin were the more flavorful, varied dishes like vegetables, cheese, fish, or meat. Maza, with its few ingredients and filling nature, checked all the boxes for an ideal sitos. In hard times, it could be a meal of its own. It was the essence of Greek culture, symbolizing simplicity, strength, and sustenance. It fed common people, fueled soldiers, nourished philosophers, and energized athletes. Its presence in daily life, religious rituals, and philosophical thought made it integral to Greek identity. I'm going to blend this up in small little batches. Oh boy. Oh, that's not what I wanted to happen. Get some of these in here. All right, so first I'm gonna pulse this and see how it turns out. All right. Ringing in the ears. Woo, and it's hot. Okay. Woo. That is hot. Let's get the flour out. And now what I'm gonna do, right. Oh, kind of looks like flour. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is sift out any of the larger pieces. Let me see here, best way to do this. Do little bits at a time. So now I'm just going to put this flour into a pan and toast it. I'm just gonna cook it on like a medium-high heat until it turns like a nice light brown and has a really nice nutty aroma. Does take a long time, doesn't it? Interestingly, from what I read is that it has this nutty aroma. Really, this kind of smells like popcorn, almost like a slightly burnt popcorn. Not in a bad way, just like exactly like burnt popcorn. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Ooh, that is still hot. Let me take this off the burner. All right, let's do it. Adding a little bit of water and mixing it in with a little bit of olive oil. And let's do a pinch of salt. Just adding a little bit more water. And I'm just gonna keep adding water until it's the right consistency. I actually had a lot of flour, so it might take quite a bit. Still more water. Now I'm just going to transfer this onto a board so I can kind of mold it myself here. It's still pretty hot. And it actually is pliable. I should have gotten plates down. Oh no. Okay. So I'm just gonna make the patties, kind of like the pancakes, flatbreads, whatever you want to call them. Try and make them look nice here. Well, here we are, Maza. Let's see if it holds up. So again, this is the CTOS. I think, like, no wonder it's barley, but it has a cereal taste to it. Popcorny cereal. It's good. It's oddly familiar, but very different. And to prepare for this, I also made just a little bit of opson. Some Kalamata olives, some feta, mint, oregano, a little bit of peppers, just a little spice. It's actually really good. Really good for what it is. Plus, I really think you throw some olives and feta on anything and it's gonna taste better. It's like the Greek version of butter and bacon. I've had homemade protein bars worse than this. I could see this as like a breakfast on the go type thing. I mean, the texture is kind of like eating a grainy Play-Doh. Flavor, it's like a plain, boring cereal, but it is filling and it is cheap. So for that, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10.